I had actually lost myself, drained emotionally. My self-esteem was at zero, and start crying. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and happy new month. If you're new here, karibu sana. My name is Jean, and if you're returning fam, karibu tena. So I've decided to pick up a series about single moms, or I'll be doing a series on my single mother journey, actually, yes. And somehow I've come to realize just talking out or just talking about it is in a way helping me mentally, and yeah, let me just put it that way. So I've decided I'll be doing a series, probably a video every week, on my single mother journey, my single mom journey, or my single mother journey. I am a single mom to 2 kids that I adore and love so much. So on this video, I had actually already done like 2 videos, and then I don't know what happened what happened to those videos, because I was just trying to just see how they'll perform, or I don't know whether it's the title or something, but let's see. So if you like this video, kindly give it a thumbs up, and giving a video a thumbs up, it helps my video reach out to as many people as possible, or it's suggested to as many people as possible. And thank you so much. Thank you for coming back, fam. Karibuni tena. So I want to talk about my journey from where it all began, being a single mom to 1 kid, and until now that I'm a single mom to 2 kids. So when I became pregnant with my daughter, I was in first year campus. So I was in a relationship by then, and when my daughter was a year 8 months, that's when we parted ways with the dad, and somehow it was a relief. So the first thing that helped me like accept that I am going to be a single mom was sitting down and coming to realize I had actually lost myself. I was drained emotionally. My self-esteem was at zero at the time. I was totally done. At that point, I was totally done, and I had to choose between being there in that relationship and picking and raising my daughter, and just having to accept that I'm going to be a single mom. I'm going to do this all alone. So for me, I had to accept first. I had to accept that we will never be a family, because I had really struggled to make sure we were all together. So that's where my journey began. I had to accept, and I had to choose. For me, I even had to choose whether I'm going to keep getting stressed, I don't want to use deep words, but I had to choose. Now this is when I decided. Now let me give you a short story when I decided that I was done and I was ready to just raise my daughter by myself. So one day my daughter got sick, and I remember my mom brought her. I met with my mom in the hospital. She was going to church. So at that point, my daughter was really sick, because my mom was like, no, we need to know what is wrong with her, because she was getting infections monthly. Like she was having recurring infections, and they were all different infections. So we were in and out of hospital for a while. So on this specific day, we were just tired, like we're just fed up. So when I took her to hospital, I was alone. So when I took her to hospital, I remember at around 8, I called the dad. He didn't pick up. I sent text messages. He didn't respond. And so I was all alone in the hospital. So that's when a few tests were done, because I remember telling the doctor, I'm done, like, please just tell me what is wrong with her, because we are always in and out of hospital. So that's when they did a few more tests, and she had iron deficiency anemia. I panicked. I was all alone in hospital. And then, with kids, when they are removing the blood samples, yani, for some kids it's just difficult. Now I'm there looking at her crying. She's been okay, like pricked like everywhere. I'm trying to, that's a direct translation, like almost on her arm, like 5 places, when they were just trying to get a blood sample. But so I remember calling him, texting, no response. He was not even picking calls, and I'm just here struggling, because I just panicked. You guys, I just panicked. Then at around, like, totally the whole day, I was in hospital like half of that day. And then when we left, I tried reaching out to the brother. So the brother told me he was not around, but once he got home, he talked to him. So I remember the guy was responding to my text messages and calls, actually a text, because he sent a text at 11 in the night. And it hit me so hard. I remember crying so much that whole week. I was just not myself, because I figured, if I can tell you that my daughter is unwell, or your daughter is unwell, and it doesn't even bother you, it doesn't even move you, I'm done. And I remember that was the last time I picked that call. In my daughter was 1 year 8 months, I remember very well. No, she was almost turning 2. She was almost turning 2. Because I remember very well, since then, in like 1 year 8 months, no, 2 years, in almost 6 years, I never picked my phone to call. I never picked my phone to text. That day I was done. Like, if it's gotten to a point where I have to choose my daughter over you, I'll go for it. I will go for it. And I braced myself. I had a very good job. I had supportive parents. My brothers were very supportive. My relatives, I remember my aunties, they were very supportive. And now that's when my journey began. For me, I still appreciate them very much, because I remember my aunts talking to me so much, because it was so difficult. It was very, very difficult for me. So yeah, I braced myself up, and I realized, no, it hit home. Jane, it's not you and your daughter. Nothing else. Nothing else should matter. Nothing else will come before nothing else will come before your daughter. Like, it's just her and you. So now, with the help of my parents, with the help of my brothers, my aunts, now I started raising my daughter by myself. And my mom was very supportive. I remember she was very, very supportive. I had a job at the time, and yeah, I just started healing. I can't even really say I started healing at the point, because I would sit in a mat and start crying, because it's not easy. It's not easy having to accept that how bad you wanted to have a family, that you're going to be just you and the kid, or you and the kids. It's never easy. I will sit in a matatu and I'd cry from town to home. Like, I'll just cry, or unless someone spots that I'm crying, I just wipe my tears and we'd move. So so it was just back and forth. Like, I'd go home. When I moved now from home, I moved now to around town, Nairobi. So I'd go home on weekends, because now I was working Monday to Friday. I'd go home on weekends, spend the weekends with my daughter, and actually I'd go home anytime, because it's not that far from town. So until 2018, yeah, 2018 now is where I got pregnant with my son. I won't explain the kind of circumstance I did, but at 5, when they discovered I was pregnant, I still struggled, but I struggled a bit. I struggled a bit with my son, but when I was 5 months pregnant, I had already accepted I'm going to be a single mom for a second time. Now, with all this for me came with shame. So how am I supposed to go explain to my dad that I'm a mom of two? I'm going to become a single mom again. My mom, hey, what? My mom was something else. How am I going to explain to my parents? Okay, how will people carry me? What watanibeba aje? Like, how will people see me? People will see me as a loose person. Like, didn't you know didn't you know about contraceptives? Didn't you know about termination? You get. So I was ready for that. At 5 months pregnant, I was ready for that, because I endured that in my first with my daughter. But here I was ready for it, because the circumstance I got pregnant with my son, I'll still not explain in this video, and I am still not ready to talk about it. But at 5 months I knew I'm not going to have a family at this point with this person, and I'll just have to accept, of which I did. It was very swift for me to accept that I'm going to have my baby. Even after being given an option of terminating, I refused, and I decided I'm going to have my son. And I actually knew, even when I was going to get for to know the gender, I knew I'm going to have a son. I knew, like, it was just in me that I knew, and I was ready for it. Now, I didn't know the struggles that were going to come with it. And now at this point now, I'm a mom to 2 kids. And solo, all alone. So I picked my daughter. She was, all these years, she had been staying at home with my parents. So I picked her and we started living together. Now here comes the challenges. I have to get a nanny. Because now I couldn't raise my daughter. I couldn't stay with my son, like where I live. I wouldn't live with my son here, and my daughter is back at home. So I remember it was also a struggle, because my mom was like, I was like, no, let me just pick her so that I can raise the both of them together. So it was so difficult. I didn't know what will happen. I didn't know what will happen, but I knew I was ready for it. With my son, I knew I was ready, and nothing was going to change my mind. Accepting it was very easy, very easy. However, I was drained before. Like, within a span of 6 years, I was still struggling with accepting. Because at some point I'd still sit, cry, and be like, God, where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong, to a point where I'm now alone and raising 2 kids all alone? Like, I have a job, I have an amazing job, but end month I have to budget, like rent, they have to have a nanny, there's food, there's transport, like everything, and it was all on me. You guys, I was drained. Now I had to just explain. I just explained to my mom, but I was not comfortable even sharing what had happened. But I just told her I'm pregnant, I'm going to have another baby. So of course, African parents, they have to they expect you to continue, keep going. What are you saying? For me, I didn't say much, and I struggled. I was struggling, but I was not able to explain it. So come 2018, that's when I gave birth to my son, and I realized it's going to be difficult when I was just, the situation now I was in, it hit so hard when I was delivering, when I was in hospital. I was alone. Again. I was alone again. No one to talk to, no one to support me. Everything I was doing, at some point, I'd feel it will hit me so hard, and I'd look around, see how the ladies are there with their baby daddies, although some were also alone, but still, for me now, I didn't prefer looking at them. I don't know their situation. Now I'd be in I'd be looking at my situation. So I'd be like, again, a second time. Was I embarrassed? Was I ashamed? Kidogo sana. But I was very confident. I was ready for it. I was ready for whatever was coming, because even getting my baby stuff and all, I was ready for it. I remember even after my daughter came, when after delivering or before, I think it was after. It was after schools closed around December of 2018, because I delivered in October 2018. That's when she came. So I was like, now this is my family. In my head, I have to accept that this is my family. And let me tell you, the journey becomes easier when you're completely done. When you've completely accepted yourself. Because I no longer, at this point, I no longer like shed tears. I no longer find myself in a situation where I'd start wondering what happened. I asked God questions. I asked him, where did I go wrong? Like, I'd wake up in the morning praying, crying, asking him, just tell me where I went wrong. And then until I discovered maybe I didn't do anything wrong. Children are a blessing, right? But it is not easy. It was never easy. I remember very well, it was never easy. But the people around me, I think for some reason, they made it a bit easier for me. Because my cousins would come, we'd spend time with them, they'd spend time with the kids. What happened now with me is I lost so many friends. I lost friends because now I'm a mom to 2 kids and I'm solo. So when I can't even go out. Like, going out, having fun, maybe I've just come back from work, my baby is there waiting for me, the girls are out having fun. It's either you pick one side. Either you stick here, raise your kids. Let's say our nanny is it's on her off day, she's not around. That's the day people are going out and having fun. You won't go out with them, you won't go have fun, you'll have to stay there, be with the kids. It was really difficult. It was very difficult for me. Mainly the main struggles that I had, I think, were just having to accept it. With my firstborn, it was really difficult, because I was in a relationship where I think I was just in a relationship by myself, because I was just there struggling to make sure I have a complete family. That was my goal. That was always my goal. Reason being, I've been raised by both parents, and I was like, how am I going to raise my daughter alone? What kind of picture, or what will people see? I've embarrassed my parents. What will happen? How will people see me out there? How will people see me out there? But I had amazing family. I still have them. Hey, my brothers, they were just amazing. My daughter, I really struggled, and the struggles that I had were mainly my self-esteem. I was lost. Basically, I was lost. I never saw anything good in myself, because that's what was instilled in me. I remember being called useless. I remember being in a situation where someone would ask me, like, I wasn't enough. Like, I will remember I was once asked, how am I normal? How did even God create me? Now, these words hit home so hard. These words hit my heart so hard, because when I walked out of that relationship, I had zero self-esteem. I did not believe in myself. I was just emotionally drained. I was emotionally drained completely. But I just decided to put my kids first. I think that happens a lot with so many moms. Now, you have to pick your kids first over everything. I also remember a point where my aunt, I was sick, and my aunt once told me, I don't know if it's a saying in Kikuyu, But she said, Motumia wenashiana darwaraga. A woman who has children never gets sick. Now, later on is when it really hits, because clearly now I'm living with the kids. So even if I am unwell, you have to wake up, you have to clean for them, you have to cook for them, and then you have to learn how to ask for help. There's no any way. And then I would still do everything for them. These kids, my daughter was just looking up to me. She just knows me basically. My son, the same thing. So they are all looking up to you. It's you to do everything for them. That's why I'd just stay in the house and I'd have mom, left, right, and center. Like, it's just me. Those were things that I really struggled with. I struggled in even believing in myself. I'd look at myself and not see anything beautiful about myself. No, this is what was instilled in me before, as I was holding strong onto a relationship that was never going to be. So it was never, or it is never an easy journey when you pick up on it. And I'll do another video next week. I think I'll be doing a video every single week, because for me, as much as I'm sharing, I'm able to understand where I've come from, and I'm able to also heal in a way, because it is not easy. There are points where I think I've just had a mental breakdown. And I also remember there's a time, not even long ago, I had applied for a job at the office, and I was to go in for the interview. But before, like 2 days before, I was I'd say, I wouldn't say I was a wreck, but I was not doing well. I remember I just had the strength, because now there's a point that everything gets, and you have to pick yourself now over everything. I remember just picking up my phone, and calling. I remember also, again, my phone had an issue. I called our HR, and I just told her I'm not able to attend that interview. So she asked me why, and I told her I'm having a mental breakdown. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And I was not ashamed to do that, because at work we've had several trainings about mental health. So I just opened up and told her I'm not well. I'm not well, and I'm not able to attend the interview. So it had to be rescheduled. Now these things happen at one point, because I remember that those 3 days were a bit tough. So I remember that day I woke up and I felt useless. I felt like I've let down my kids. I've let down my kids so badly. Like, I didn't see anything good that I had done. Like, up to that day now, or up to now, I didn't see it. I just saw, like, I saw it as I've brought my kids down, just raising them solo. They deserved better. I remember they deserved better. But later on, I remember just sitting down and then calming myself down and realizing I've come from far. I've achieved so much with myself. I've achieved so much for my kids, and they're just happy. They're just happy. But it has not been an easy journey for me. I wouldn't lie to you. It's been difficult. It's been with ups and downs. It's been very difficult. So right now, as we speak, my daughter is turning 11 next month, and my son is joining school in the opening school in April. So let's just say in May. My son is joining school in May. So I have 2 people to pay school fees for. I still have other expenses. I have to keep sitting down and talking to them. Like, sometimes we just talk with my daughter, and I always have to keep assuring them that I love them despite everything. They are always my number one. I've always taught my daughter one thing, and I always tell her, because sometimes she'll see I'm providing so much for them. Sometimes I even forget about myself, which has happened so many times. so many times. Like, I'd forget I even need a pair of shoe. Like, I totally forget about myself. But as long as my kids have eaten, as long as my kids have somewhere to sleep, they have clothes to wear, I am fine. Myself, I can even wear something like that. Even if you'd look at me, you'd really wonder whether I'm okay. Now, I also came to understand, no, within my journey, I'd even forget in buying myself something. I need a pair of shoe, but I don't see it. Like, my shoe, after, I think it was around last days when I realized I only get myself a pair of shoe after I realized the shoe that I'm wearing is just done. Like, it's just totally done. So, and then it happened like twice. I'd go when heading to work. I alight at Ngara. So when below the bridge, there are guys who sell pairs of shoes. So I've done that twice, and I think I'm even going to do it a third time, because I totally forget about myself. I totally forget I need something. I'll actually, it will hit that I need something when it's done. Like, I realize I don't have something to wear tomorrow. I don't have sweaters. I don't have trousers. I have only one. I only have one, because if I get into a shop, I only remember my kids. So I'll just go pick things for them and not even pick an item for myself. Now, that is when I've also realized I'm able to put them first before myself. Or I was giving you a story. So below the bridge, there are guys who sell pairs of shoes. Now, I wish I don't staki kujaibisha. If I show you the shoe that, the dolly shoe that I've been wearing, I don't know for how many months now. So I alight. Once I alight, I go to those guys. There's one specific guy I buy from, and I pick a pair of shoe. I pay. I wear the new pair of shoe, and then the old one, I'll just carry it in a bag and maybe throw it away once I get to work. And it's not good. It's not good because I can get an affordable pair of shoe, maybe even at 200, at 300, at 500, but it doesn't hit home. It doesn't. I have sandals to wear in the house, okay. I have this pair of shoe to wear, and I'm good. I need to go to work, I have a pair of shoe to wear. Why do I need to get myself an extra pair of shoe? No, that doesn't hit. That doesn't hit. Like, you stop it. No, for me, it will be like, it will sound like I've stopped loving myself as well. I no longer care about myself. I remember after I gave birth to my son, afterwards I'd still wear the same maternity dresses I wore while pregnant, and some had become extra large, some had become even loose, but I didn't see that. I wouldn't see that. For me, as long as I was comfortably dressed, I was good to go. But it has not been an easy journey for me. And what I just keep telling myself is to keep going. But accepting, for me, accepting took, now after I gave birth to my son, accepting, and with him I had already accepted. At 5 months pregnant, I knew. So accepting it, just having to accept, and then it's basically you and you alone. But for me, the support of my family, amazing friends, relatives, it's just been an amazing journey. It has been a hard and an amazing journey. So yeah, it's not been easy. Totally not easy. So, but if you're a single mom out there, if you're watching this, yeah, you got this. You got this. And it's always amazing when you have the feeling of choosing yourself and your kids over everything, having that peace of mind. Because for me, it gives me the peace of mind. Besides the normal struggles, the financial struggles, those emotional battles you fight, those mental breakdowns you get, as long as you have peace, that peace, for me, it was the peace. Even fighting, because I've been given a couple of advices and options, like I have to go back and start fighting. Trust me, the response I always give, I am not ready. I love my peace. I love my peace. And then especially if you realize the person you want to start going to battle with. For me, I just loved my peace, and I still love my peace. Just knowing I'm going to wake up in the morning, you're just going to have a peaceful day. For me, that was just it. Because I had endured a lot. Trying to hold on to things that will never happen. And those are things we never see. It will never happen. It will not even come to pass. Because for me, I go back through a few text messages and I realize I was here alone. And it was the fear of being called a single mom, the fear of raising a child single-handedly. It is there. That's not a lie. It is there. Because you see so many parents raising their children together, and you miss that. For me, even today, now that I'll say, even today, I see a family, and I'd really miss having such a thing for my kids. I'd really miss having a man talk to my son, a man play with him. You get? Because again, with dating as a single mom, you just don't introduce anyone to your kids. However, for me, my dad plays a role, my brothers do play a role, and my cousins as well. Because my son will just sit and be like, he wants to call the grandfather. The conversation they'd have, or they still have, like today he really wanted to talk to him. So I asked him, what do you want to tell him? I want to tell him I have a car because I bought him a toy car. He wanted to tell him he has a toy car. He'll sit and just have conversation, ask him what he's doing, where are the dogs, those fun questions. And you'd see he really lightens up each time he talks to either my dad, my brothers, or my cousins, because they always talk to him a lot. The same applies with my daughter. For my daughter now, she stayed with my parents for a while, so she's had the love from my dad. But there's always something missing. You'd like to see those father-daughter relationships, father-son relationships, but they're not there. So those are the things that sometimes you really miss to see, you really miss to want. You get? But accepting it won't happen. It will never happen. And if it does, God will work his way through it. So that has basically been my journey. I don't think there's something I've not let out. I don't think there's something I've not shared, because I don't think there's something I've not shared. If you'd like to ask me a question, kindly do on the comment section below, and I'll make sure to respond. I always respond to my comments. And if you like this video, and if you will want to hear more on my single motherhood journey, kindly give this video a thumbs up. And you guys, we can get this video to 100 likes. We can get it to 100 likes. So if you've not subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe. Actually, that's the only way you support me. That's the only way you're going to support me, by giving this video a thumbs up. And ask me any question. I think I'll be able to respond. Yeah, I will. Kindly ask me any question. If you have something to share, kindly share. An encouragement, something to encourage a single mom out there. Also me, I also need encouragement, because it's never easy. Trust me, it's never easy. It's not easy. Yes, it's not easy. So let me edit this video, guys, and I'm actually posting it today. I'll actually post it today, this very day. So yeah, I've just decided to share with you guys my single motherhood journey. And for me, as long as I have my peace, that is what matters. For me, getting my peace was important. accepting myself, building up my self-esteem. That was very important for me. In knowing that these kids will only look up to you, that is just something too heavy to carry with, because you're all alone. You're alone, you're alone, you're alone. Yeah. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Yeah, ask those questions. I know there are few questions. Someone would like to ask a question, but I'd also appreciate some encouragement. And yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching, and stay blessed. And I'll catch you up on the next one.